Hey, this is Rich Arriaga, and today I want to talk about real intent. And so I'll describe real intent as doing the right thing for the right reason. So it's not just doing the right thing, but it's doing the right thing for the right reasons. And so I'll cover this by going over the parable of the orange. I'm not sure if you ever heard this parable, but it's a great example of conveying the point that I'm about to make. So I'm going to read from my screen. So, the parable of the oranges. There was a young man who had ambitions to work for a company because it paid very well and was prestigious. He prepared his resume and had several interviews. Eventually, he was given an entry level position. Then he turned his ambition to the next goal, a supervisor position that would afford him even greater prestige and more pay. So he completed the task he was given. Some mornings he came in early, sometimes he stayed late so that his boss could see him putting in the long hours. After 5 years, a supervisor position became available. But to the young man's great dismay, another employee who had only been with the company for 6 months was given a promotion. The young man was very angry and he went to the boss and demanded an explanation. The wise boss said to him, "Before I answer your question, would you please do me a favor?" And so the employee said, "Yes, sure. Would you go to the store and buy some oranges? My wife needs them." The young man agreed and went to the store. When he returned, the boss asked, "What kind of oranges did you buy?" The young man answered, "I don't know. You just said to buy oranges, and these are oranges. Here they are." "How much did each orange cost?" the boss asked. "Well, I'm not sure," was the reply. "You gave me $30. Here is your receipt, and here is your change." "Thank you," said the boss. "Now please have a seat and pay careful attention." Then the boss called the employee who had received the promotion and asked him to do the same job. He readily agreed and went to the store. When he returned, the boss asked, "What kind of oranges did you buy?" "Well," replied this employee, "the store had many varieties. There are navel oranges, Valencia oranges, blood oranges, tangerines, and many others. And I didn't know which kind to buy. But I remember you said your wife needed oranges, so I called her. She said she was having a party and that she was going to make orange juice. So I asked her grocer which of all these oranges would make the best orange juice. So that's what I bought. I dropped them off your home, and on my way back to the office, your wife was very pleased." "How much did each orange cost?" the boss asked. "Well, that was another problem. I didn't know how many to buy. So I once again called your wife and asked her how many guests was she expecting. She said 20. I asked her grocer how many oranges would be needed to make orange juice for 20 people. And it was a lot. So I asked the grocer if he would give me a quantity discount. And he did. See, these oranges normally cost 75 cents each, but I paid only 50 cents. Here's your change, and here's the receipt." The boss smiled and said, "Thank you, you may go now." He looked over at the employee who had been watching. The young man stood up, slumped his shoulders, and said, "I see what you mean." And he walked dejectedly out of the office. See, what was the difference between these two young men? They were both asked to buy oranges, and they both did. You may say that one went the extra mile, one was more efficient, or one paid more attention to detail. But the most important difference had to do with the real intent. And remember, I described real intent as not only doing the right thing, but doing the right thing for the right reasons. And so rather than just going through the motions, the first young man was motivated by money, position, and prestige. The second was driven by an intense desire to please his employer. He had an inner commitment to be the best employer that he could possibly be, and the outcome was obvious. Anyone can be a great employee if that is their real intent, but real intent must come from within. It doesn't come from external motivators such as money or titles or prestige. Real intent comes from a genuine desire to do the right thing and to do those things for the right reasons. As along with an inner commitment to always put forth a best for effort in everything that one does. Great employees are willing to focus on helping others to become more successful, and inevitably, they themselves grow to become great leaders in the process. They take accountability for their actions and they own their mistakes. They gain the reputation of being trustworthy and they earn the respect of their coworkers. And they understand the value of the team. See, for me, my personal journey, I've always found that the best way to get what you want is to help other people get what they want. If you know who Zig Ziglar is, that's one of his most famous quotes. If you help enough people get what they want first, then eventually you will get what you want as well. And so this is basically this giving that you receive. And the more that you give of yourself, the more that you give based on real intent, doing the right thing for the right reason, it's only a matter of time before these universal laws come back and give you and allow you to reap from the seeds that you have been sowing all along. So I hope you listen to this a couple times, and I hope you can use this with your team. You can reflect on this yourself and just see, am I operating based off real intent myself? Is there an opportunity for me to change the way I look at things? And you've heard me say before, there's a quote that says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So this is an opportunity for you to reflect, to look at what you're doing, look at your intentions, and to also share this with your team. Because I think that this is a message that will resonate with all of us, and it'll teach and touch any of us if we're willing to open our hearts, open our minds, and then act based on the wisdom that's being provided here today. So this is Rich Arriaga. I hope you have a great day. Take care.